bad idea, just poorly executed awesomeness.
Alright, y'all, so this morning was a bomb. I tried to work on coloring for Lone Wolf, and the computer, it was going for a little bit there, and then for some reason the program, I got stuck in something that made me not be able to use a brush or select colors or, just really do anything. But what's up, y'all? So it's Monday. This has been a crazy day. You already heard a little bit of my beginning of my morning. It's about getting close to 2 o'clock now, and holy crap, like everything that could possibly go wrong has been going wrong today. It's just one of those days. It's mostly at work, but even as you saw in the beginning, even before I got to work with the computer, when I did turn it off and on again, it did start working, but I had to go. I was already running late and stuff, so whatever. But yeah, everything at work's gone wrong today. It's crazy. It's just frustrating, and I'm finally kind of taking a little bit of a lunch break, I guess, or whatever. But I got to get back and do other things. I bet I'll be going overtime today. It's just stupidness. I mean, I don't mind overtime. I probably could use the money and stuff. I definitely could use money, but whatever. Anyways, I was just thinking about a few different things today. I was thinking about this idea of being like, and I have not done my half hour still yet, but I plan on getting that done soon for sure. But anyways, let's see. So I was thinking about the idea of being a selfish creator versus being a selfless creator, and I'm actually coming to an interesting conclusion. I don't actually think one is better than the other. I think they're just two different ways of going about things. But there is, and I think if you're selfless, you're still going to be somewhat selfish, but less self. So not selfless in the sense that there's no self in there, but selfless in that there's less self in there, is probably the way I would kind of frame it, at least for me. But there's this idea of like, and I talked about this recently actually, but there's this idea of like, you have this idea burning in you. Not everybody has this, not every creator has this, but some creators have this like idea they've been nurturing for years and years and years, and they want to get it out. Or maybe it's only been a few months and it's just really gnawing on you. You want to get it out, and you don't really think about the market necessarily or the audience. You're just like, I want to make this thing. But one thing, if you want to do that, you totally can do that, and you should do that, I think, because it has been shown that sometimes when you do that, you can actually do really well, because you're touching on something that it's like, if you like it, well, maybe a lot of other people will like it. Now, one thing though is you got to realize that that's not necessarily true. It may or may not be helpful to other people. You're taking a risk, with that mentality. But it has happened. There are examples that it has happened, but for all the successful examples that you've heard of where that has happened, there's probably way more examples of people who have done that and it hasn't worked. That being said, I'd say go forth still, because the truth is, I feel like most creative ideas can actually work. A lot of times it's not necessarily because the idea that it didn't work. It might be partially because of the execution, but a lot of times it's, I think, more than anything, it's because creators give up on their idea. They put out one single issue or something and it didn't work, and it's like, oh well, nobody wanted to buy it. Well, nobody's gonna buy it. Nobody's gonna buy your first issue, most likely. There's a great video by a friend, Shell Presto DiBaggio. I think I got that right. Check out her channel, her YouTube channel. I will try to put a link in the description. Hopefully I remember, because I shared it recently on a bunch of social media things. But she has a really cool video talking about nobody cares about your original character. And it's, you might think of that as like, is that a negative thing? Well, technically, I guess it's sort of a negative thing, but I think it's a positive thing. It just brings a dose of reality that's much needed to young creators, especially, or maybe not young so much as just creators who haven't put much out yet. I've definitely had the experience at a young age where I tried to put something out and it fell flat on its face. And the thing is you might not get traction with your first one. Most likely you probably won't. You might get a little traction. That's a great sign if you get even a little traction. And if you still are hungry for this, I would say, that you have to kind of evaluate and see, okay, maybe I just don't feel like telling this story anymore. That's okay. But if you're hungry enough and you're like, oh man, I still love the story, I just don't think people are getting it yet, they're not understanding, then go forth, make that second issue. You probably won't get a ton of traction on the second issue either, but maybe on your third you might start getting some traction, or on your fourth or your fifth. And once you start getting that momentum, people are going to be like, oh, this is cool, I want to see what else the other person has made. And this, I think, goes for, even if it's not a ongoing series, but it's just, a bunch of different series in a world, that would work. Or even if it's a bunch of different series that's not in any kind of connected universe, if they like this a certain story, they're going to be like, oh well, if this person's that good at telling a story, or I really enjoyed this experience with what this person made, maybe what the other things they made is cool too. So there's definitely a way you can build in that way. Now, there's another way of going about it, which is a selfless way, or like I said, not so much void of self, but less self. And that is to look into markets that actually are doing well, say the sci-fi genre or the horror genre, whatever happens to be hot at the moment. You don't even have to follow trends that much. Just look into stuff that's, popular in either comics, or you could even look in novels, or just in society, like what's things that people are into. And then, the thing is if you are trying to make a career out of this, for me, I want to become a good storyteller. It doesn't really matter what genre I work in. Not everybody's like this. Some people want to stay genre specific, which is also somewhat of a smart move, because if you really know a genre well, you can hit on that really well in a way that those people who love that genre will be really into what you're doing. But I tend to enjoy many different genres and am happy to write many different kind of stories, and I feel like I can bring something to it where it might even have the chance to be what's that word? It might have a chance to transcend a little bit and be something that, even if you're not in the sci-fi genre, you might like it because it's just a good story. And sometimes people just find out about something that's just a good story and they forget that they're even in a genre that they might not love. So, or it just might be like not really so much of a genre that as much as just a good story. Like there's certain things that I can't necessarily, like certain movies and stuff that I've seen that I can't necessarily put my finger on what genre it is necessarily, but it's still really good. So anyways, so I feel like I could go into any genre and bring something to it, I'm feeling more and more like that as I go. I do feel like I'm pretty new at I'm still very much in a learning stage and stuff. But I don't know. Like the thing is if you put something out there and nobody buys it, that's not the people who are not buying it's fault. That's our own fault for, not being able to kind of see what might be popular and hit it. I don't know. Like, some people don't like the idea of right to market. It gets really tricky when you talk to creative people, because some people are like, well, you just want to create for the love and this and that. Trust me, I'm creating for the love. I wouldn't do it at all if I wasn't creating for the love. This is too hard. But I don't know. To me, it's fun to have a limitation or to have a challenge. I just wrote a romance story. I don't think ever in my life until recently, like, would I ever have thought that I would want to write in the romance genre. When I was growing up as a kid reading Image comics and, superheroes that have, barely any character, but there's a lot of action going on. I was not thinking about writing romance comics, but now I'm super excited about the romance comic that I've written, and I can't wait for people to read it and see if they like it, if they enjoy it. I'm doing another comic, Big Wrath, which is with Peter Palmiotti, and I don't know what genre that is. It's like action adventure, I guess. It's kind of in the superhero realm, but it's not really superheroes, but there is some special powers and stuff, and I don't know, it's weird. So anyways, to me, and I'll be honest, I'm not really writing to market yet, but I feel like I will at some point. I would love to look into things that are popular and write a story for it. And I don't know, I just think that would be a fun way to me, that's just another challenge, another cool thing to try out. So anyways, I don't know. But also it's more audience oriented, and it's more like I'm trying to see what people like and give them a cool story. And I have messages that I want to bring across to people that I feel like are near and dear to my heart. And what better way than to go into the place where they like to be, which is, say, the horror genre or whatever genre it is that they like, whatever's popular. Let me go into their world and tell a story about something that's very close to my heart that I think is important and helpful for people, Why not? That's a very selfless, giving way to create art, I think. I don't know. What do you guys think? I don't know.